Welcome back. Where'd you go? You probably just switched to the next section, right? So here are the 3 GCS portions. Let's start with the guide. This is the meat of the whole thing. What are 3 things you would like us to work on? What would you say are the challenges to having these things be as you'd want them to be? And the magic is, what would be a good indicator that you're making progress to whatever goal number 1 was, right? Don't say goal number 1, say your sleep issues or your anxiety or whatever they're saying. That last one, when they give you an answer, means for the first time they're thinking of an indicator of making progress, of success. It changes everything. It's very, very powerful. The goals. Let's work on just that. What are 3 things you'd like to work on? Okay, this is, remember, how we change everything. Goals show the mentee that they're in charge because they're giving them to you, right? You're listening to your mentee judgment-free on what they choose or what they say about it, and that sets a tone for an open and safe reflection. This is where you start to really have to take off your judge, jury, executioner cap and be a curious visitor in the land of Skeeter Alpaca Peterson. When they get stuck, find a way to help them forward. So don't give them answers and don't try to give them what you read in the consult. Please just erase that from your brain unless there's something vital that you found in there that you need to bring up, right? Still, it should be in a question. Don't feed them. Teach them to fish, right? You want them to figure it out. Say back each goal to make sure that it's clear. You can add positive comments if they're meaningful. So you're going to get an example in a moment. Look for what's special about their choices. Look for gold. Look for gold. The mentees who can't make 3 goals are generally a harbinger of a client who may not work out. Don't make a tell about that. Like, hopefully we can get them to 3. We can't always, and it's not always a guarantee that it's not going to work out. It's just a harbinger. And the same if they give you 4 goals. So if they give you 4 goals, it could be a harbinger, but it could be actually a really cool thing. Sometimes number 6s really are the best. The challenges. What would you say are some of the challenges to having these things be as you would want them to be? State the challenges question and then repeat goal 1 and write the answer. So goal and challenge. So you said you have trouble waking up in the morning. What is the challenge to that? And then they say it and you write it down. And then you go to the next goal. And so you're messing up in school and you want to do better. What is the challenge to that being the way you want it to be? And then the third one, I'm making this up, right? I want to deal with my anxiety, not be so anxious all the time. What's the challenge to that being the way you want it to be, right? And sometimes they're not going to have an answer, right? That's why we're here. That's cool. Be open to long or short answers. Take it all down because no one has ever let them be an expert to themselves. So sometimes you're opening the floodgates to their deeper self, their true self, and things will just come forward. Write it all out. Bold anything that jumps out to you. You're going to see in some examples, I bold, because that's the stuff I want to come back to. You may have to help with a thought process, but don't give them answers. So kind of, well, you're saying that it's an issue with going to failing at school, and that's the challenge. Which part of it is the challenge? Which part is difficult for you? Oh, I never hand things in on time. I never start till the night before. That kind of thing. Focus on process to help them figure it out. This is all what it's about. When all 3 challenges are done, hopefully, repeat each goal followed by each challenge. So sleep, this. I forget what I said, but you get the idea. Goal 1, challenge 1. Goal 2, challenge 2. Goal 3, challenge 3, just like that. Make sure it makes sense to them. I love this line. Does that make sense to you? Because we usually get a yes. Make changes if necessary. Remember that this is a work in progress. This doesn't have to be perfect. It's a starting point. And then the success, the last part of the GCS. What would be a good indicator, Skeeter, that you're making progress in your sleep issues, right? State the success question and then repeat. So with the sleep issues, you said that the problem is you play video games to the end of the night. What would be a first indicator of success? When I go to bed at 10 at night. Well, that's a good goal, but you're going to bed at 4 in the morning. How about we say, you think you could handle 2 o'clock? I mean, you have to kind of be up at 10. If you could go to 2, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, that sounds good. So we want to, they're so used to like having absolutes. Cyberdolians are all about absolutes or against absolutes. Well, I can't give you an answer to how I feel about that because sometimes I feel different. I understand that. Be open to long or short answers. Bold anything that jumps out to you. Stop me if you've heard this before. You may have to help them with the thought process, but don't give them the answers. Focus on process to help them figure it out. And when all 3 are done, so now you have all the GCSs, all the S's now, repeat each goal, followed by each challenge, and then each success. Goal, challenge, success. Number 1. Goal, challenge, success. And it just feels so good to them because you're saying, this is the problem. This is my problem with dealing with it. This is the first indicator that I'm doing well. It's transformative. Make sure it makes sense to them. Make changes if necessary. Validate their choices. You're going to see an example shortly. And get feedback from them on the process. Let them feel that they're in charge of the process. They are in charge of the process. By the way, we never call it the GCS to our mentees. Like, that's for you and for me. We refer to it as your goals. That's what we're working on. And at first, as 3 things you want to work on. We don't even say goals when we do this. Like when we're starting it, we just say, what are the things you want to work on? What are the challenges to those things being the way you want to be? What will be the first signpost of success in each of these things, right? A lot of things. Because goals have been a problem in the past. So we're going to be gentle. Later on, when we have it together, we may start calling it goals. Remember, we are neither judge, jury, nor executioner. Nor are we a game show host who kind of smarm down at the people with them. Imagine you're kind of like a talk show host. Da, 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 da. Really interested in what they have to say. There to bring out the gold. Looking forward to their next appearance. So let's talk about engaging your mentees.